Mahmoud, do you believe Zionists have deliberately stirred and activated far-right groups in Britain to distract from the Israeli war crimes? Okay, interesting question. I mean, to that regard, let me actually share a few things with you here. Let's see if you type on Google UK newspaper headlines immigrants or UK newspaper headlines Muslims. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's see what we would get here. The only thing we said here is simple: UK newspapers immigrants. Surge in ethnic numbers, asylum seekers ferried. Okay, what is that? Warning: Muslim ghettos, rapists, 450,000 from Libya. What else do we have? We have the same one. Migrants rob young Britons of jobs. Immigration soars 20% a year. EU migrants to take British pensions. Britain opens up to asylum seekers. Propaganda, 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 brainwashing, propaganda, brainwashing, propaganda, the Daily Fail, the Spun, the Daily Tele Khurraf, all of these garbage newspapers and mainstream media feeding on all of this nonsense. So, and UK newspapers, Muslims, now you'll see Habibi the Jihad and the jihadist killers on our street. Hundreds more to choose jihad. What else do we have? No, they took us back to the burqa stuff. Where were they? Give us full Sharia law. Ban the veil. Muslim sympathy for jihadis. Okay. While this man who's leading all of this, he's now facing terror charges in the UK. He's sitting in Cyprus. And if we type Tommy Robinson, Israel, look at him. Over a tank, IDF tank, wrapping himself in an Israeli flag. Here we go. And in some of the protests, you'll see them British flags and Israeli flags. Okay. Why did I just share that with you? I shared that with you to let you know that the British people have been facing brainwashing for decades with these headlines of the Spun, the Daily Fail. They're officially called the Sun and the Daily Mail, but I call them the Spun and the Daily Fail, and other garbage trash, other garbage brain poison and brain trash. And they have them on the headlines. Many people will only look at the headlines. Scapegoating, everything is to blame on the immigrants. Once they were the European immigrants, once they were blacks, once the Muslims, and Islamophobia, and. All of that adds up. Okay? So there's something with that regard, and that's something linked to Israel. What's the link to Israel? Rupert Murdoch is behind most of these media. Who's Rupert Murdoch? A massive Zionist. Man who led Britain to catastrophic stuff. He pushed the people for the war in Iraq, led the country to Brexit, and chaos. Okay. The link with Israel. Tommy Robinson. He hugged Israel. He loves Israel. We've seen flags within the riots in England, right? Let's see if we have more images of the riots, by the way, to share with you, because for those of you who don't know, it's ugly. Right? It's really, really ugly, and it's Islamophobic, and it's racist. Again, all it takes is just a Google search. Look at the riots. Look at this. Attacking the police station on fire. Look at this. Attacking the police. Almost 100 wounded. Stores. Looting stores. What, Sainsbury's, Shoe Zone, high street brands, like you're talking about Greg's, Iceland, stealing from shops, chaos. All right, they're doing all of that. Yet, none of that is being labeled as terror. Thugs, thuggery, criminals. Okay, fair enough. If there were Muslims doing that in the UK, I'd bet you 500 would have been killed by now. shot by the army or anti-terror police or something. What is this? And again, you're talking from my perspective, any criminal, punish them. Anyone who commits crimes against people, terror, they've lynched people. They've lynched Pakistanis. They've lynched black people. They threw acid on a woman with a hijab with her child. What is that? What is that? This is the decades worth of propaganda, of racism, of venom, of ugliness. And Zionism is like this with it. Because in some of these protests, they have Israeli flags with them too. Israeli flags in the protests of these far right. There you go. That's one of them in London, right? Look at that. Sitting with them. So they're linked together. Another thing here, so firstly you have the decades worth of propaganda and venom. Then you have other reasons too, like the lax approach of the government, And I previously shared with you in several videos some figures, some previous figures in the security establishment in Britain. One of them was called Neil Basu. He criticized the previous Tory government for taking a lax approach when it comes to what they label as far-right extremism, right? Far-right extremism in Britain. But he was ignored. As a matter of fact, the government was feeding on these people. Why was Suella Braverman sacked from the Home Office? She tried to politicize the police. She was giving a backwind to those same terrorists, thugs, who went to the Memorial Weekend and started attacking them. They were always saying, oh, the Palestinian protests are going to attack the Memorial Weekend. We saw the contrary. We saw people with the memorial, with the poppies, and with the Palestinian kufiya coming and marching, and such honorable, lovely people. Why? Because they paid respects to the people who defended their country in World War I, World War II. And at the same time, they support the Palestinian people's rights. And many of these people, they criticize the unnecessary criminal wars of Britain as well. But still, they pay their respects to the people who fought and protected people in World War I, World War II. Okay. So they had a backwind from the government. They had a support. Now the support is gone. And Starmer, it's not like you're talking about hard left here. Keir Starmer, and you know what I think of Keir Starmer, especially with his positions of Israel, on Israel. What is he doing? What did he do something? All of this started because of this boy with this abhorrent crime, killing these three girls, and people on social media immediately blaming the Muslims, to a level where the police decided to reveal the name. Why? Because they didn't want the social media things to spread out. Then we reach another argument: social media. How comes people like that are not banned? How comes people who call to attack the police? Robinson is pushing the people against the police. It was shocking to see some people. It's like your police force is being attacked. Communities are being attacked. Plus, listen, whoever kills anyone, okay? So-and-so killed someone. Do I go and punish the whole community? What the hell is wrong with these people? If one white Christian went and killed someone, committed a crime, do I start going against the white Christians? Of course not. If an ethnic minority, this man reportedly from Rwanda, and he's a Christian, what, attack on Rwandan community? What is that logic? What is that logic? Even if you have an organized group of criminals, and we have an organized group of criminals, what are they? White. They're white British. What do we say? The whole Britain is like that? Of course not, because Britain is full of wonderful people who just live about their lives, their daily lives. But there's a group of people in society who have been brainwashed and fed all of that with the government letting it pass. Now you see what happens when you let things like that fester. When you enable or allow people with these ideologies from any background possible, a Muslim background, Christian background, I don't care. Anyone in the community who is able to conduct such activities, condone them, let alone call for them. These are criminals. These are criminals. And they should be dealt with. Why? Because they're attacking innocent civilians. And we saw the Israeli flag. We saw Tommy Robinson. You'll see them shouting, "We love Tommy, we love Tommy." Okay, who's Tommy Robinson? They wanted to name it the English Jewish Defense League. Like that with Israel, you saw the flags supporting. He resists immigration in Britain, but supports immigration to Israel. How fascinating. Israel was founded on immigrants, right, from Europe, right, who came, formed terror groups, and took over the country. Why are you not against them then? See, no logic, no logic. But I think that's something that needs a big debate, really. Firstly, the media. And to this day, some of the media, like I saw something on I think it was the Telegraph or something, far-right clash with Muslims. Far-right clash with Muslims? Mosques are being attacked. And everyone from the community, and we even had a joint statement the other day from Muslims and Christians and Jews next to a mosque. And the average people in the community saying, you know, what is this? Just stop. What is this insanity? You need to look at the media. They like to link it to Muslims every time. You need to look at the media. You need to look at social media. You need to look at education. And you need to have equal laws, equal measures. There's a level of systemic flaw that's racist to an extent. And that needs to be dealt with. What you label as terror, who you label as terror, and all of that, you need to have a debate. And again, you know, even when you talk about immigration, do you have a problem with immigration? What's your argument? Why? What's it? Because so far, what you can see is that Britain's suffering from its policies that it's doing against immigration. The country needs professionals from all across the world. And immigration boosts productivity, boosts a lot of things. But when you like the scapegoat and blame everything on the immigrants and this and that, this is what you end up with. So you have people like that ruining their own communities. And again, you know, people need to be sensible about that. And the funny thing is, some people with these groups, by the way, if you would sit down with any of them who are willing to sit down and talk, they would be convinced very quickly. They live in this bubble. They live in a bubble. They just speak with like-minded people, mostly intoxicated. And they go and wreak havoc. And again, stealing shops, destroying shops, attacking the police. What is that? What, do you want anarchy? What, do you think you're going to benefit from anarchy? And O Wolf said, Assalamu alaikum, Mahmoud. Riots tragic. Sorry state all around. Even Tate is a waffler. Hope cool heads prevail. Time for steel back bones. Peace, guys. Thank you so much, buddy. And yes, absolutely, 100%. And yet, some of these people online, they sit there and they think they can just comment on chaos. Like, what's that internal chaos in the community? Well, why add more fuel to the fire? What for? Exactly. What, destroying the country? Attacking the police that's there to protect you? What kind of stupidity is this, and ignorance and maliciousness too? Like Musk is saying, civil war. What, do you want civil war? Or do you want people to kill people for nothing? Just based on their identity? What is that? What kind of twisted minds are these people? Is the government doing something for them or something? Like, some people, you don't really understand what their motives are. Why are you trying to wreak havoc between innocent people? What for? People will suffer. People will suffer, and people won't feel safe. Again, everyone should be responsible, yeah. And you need to read through everything carefully and not trust everyone who's talking, because many of these people are poisonous.